What's up everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to talk about part 2 of how to do solo ad for affiliate marketing. So if you missed part 1, so it's very important that you check the part 1 because it gives you the fundamental of affiliate marketing and solo ad. So stay tuned for part 2 because it's going to be fantastic. Okay guys, so before we get started, so make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. So we have already seen in part 1, you know, a lot of interesting topics such as traffic temperature, cold, warm and hot, right? So if you missed once again part 1, go back and check it out. It's also interesting. So in part 2, of course, we are going to see you know, why it's important to track your campaign and what is exactly T1, T2, T3 tiers of traffic, you know, how to share your public stats, because sometimes your solo ad provider will ask you details like that. So, and at the end we'll see of course the script, you know, that it's important to use, you know, to ask the right questions to your solo ad provider. So that being said, let's see now tracking your campaign. So what we measure, we improve. So if you don't measure you know, what you are doing online, like how many clicks you have, you know, so you cannot know for sure if your landing page or opt-in page has issues, if it's not converting. So you cannot know that, you know. So that's why it's very important to track, to measure, right? So, and then you will see for example here tiers 1 click is 99%, which is nice. So basically tier 1 traffic, you want to make sure that it's at least 75%. So let's see what is tiers 1 of traffic. So tiers 1 of traffic basically it's your premium traffic. It's you know, it's people who are in the big 5 countries, you know, big 5 like United States, Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand. So those people, you know, they have the money power, right? They have the money power to buy to buy your product. So you want to make sure that at least your solo provider, his tier 1 traffic is at least 75, you know, percent, you know, 75 to up. So it's very important to make sure of that. And tiers 2 traffic, you know, there is 43 countries such as Argentina, Brazil, Thailand, you know, Sweden, etc., Japan, Mexico. So all of these countries are part of tiers 2 countries, and you know, they're also buyers, you know. And obviously tiers 3, it's all other countries, you know, that are part of tier 3 traffic. So it's very important to know that, you know, in when you're doing solo ad and pay ad as well. So how to share your public stats. So first of all, sometimes your solo provider asks you to show your public stat, you know, because he wants to see how many let's say unique click, you know, or bot clicks you have. So let me quickly share my let's see my computer here. Let's go on my computer. So let's go to links, for example, here. So I'm using ClickMagick. So by the way, I will share the link after in the description, so you can check it out. So I'm using ClickMagick. So let me go, for example, for this solo ad. For example, as you can see, I receive 258 clicks, and then here in ClickMagick, right? So when you go here, you can check the traffic quality first of all. So by checking the traffic quality, you can see that tier 1, it's 92%. So that means people in the big 5 countries such as United States, Canada, are clicking on my offer here. So as you can see, so this is it's very important that you double check your the quality of the traffic of your solo ad vendor. So let me go back again, right? And now I will show you. You see here the public stat. You click on that, and you can see here that particular link. That's what you have to share with your solo provider, so he will be able to see how many total click was generated, right? How many total click was generated, right? And how many bot click, so basically, yeah, so it's very important. And there is something I want. You see, all of these are bots. So what I want to highlight also, ClickMagick automatically flag any bot click. Any bot click will be flagged, so it will not be count as unique click in your ad. That means you want to be paid for that. So that's why it's important to have a tracking software like ClickMagick, because it gives you some real peace of mind on what you are doing online. Okay, let's come back here to our presentation, and we will check now of course the script, right? So okay, so for the script, so those are here a couple of questions that it's important to ask your solo provider. So for example, what is top tiers percentage? What is the top tier percentage? So it's very important because you want to make sure it's at least 75%, because you want to make sure that people who has the money power to click on your offer. And you want also to ask him how did he build his email list, and it's also important because you don't want, if for example the solo ad provider tell you that he's only building his list with solo ad as well. So this is not good, because think about that. So people in that are using solo ad, they always send a lot of offer to the list, so they are receiving a lot of emails, right? So that means it's very tough to get sales. So you want to make sure that your solo ad provider is using things like Facebook ad, Google ad, Bing ads, etc., blogging, to build his email list, not only solo ad. Because if he's building only with solo ad, so it's going to be tough, okay, the third point, you can ask him if he's building a relationship with his list. So it's very important because, as I have highlighted in part 1, people buy from people they know, they like, and trust. So by building a relationship, with his list, he's creating that know and like and trust factor, right? So yeah, this is very important to say that, because people don't join companies, people join people. So it's very important to ask him if he's building a relationship with his list. So, and ask him also if his traffic is regularly making sales. So it's very important to ask that, and ask him for testimonials. So you want to check everything. So by asking the right questions, you put a solo ad provider in a position where he has to perform. He has to give his best. He will give you his very best email list, where you can advertise. So it's very important. So guys, I hope I have added value to you guys as usual today. So yeah, let's say see you in the next video.